What's going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday afternoon slash morning. It's great to see everybody. Um, I'm very excited today. We are launching our buyer trends. I don't know if you call it section or we'll call it new piece of content that you must come back to on a regular basis. So we are taking a very interesting slash different approach to a standard, white paper on industry trends. And I think what we're hoping for is that, the way that the Gartners of the world and other people have done content has been survey based, right? Which is a world where you go out, you survey randomly, and you have no clue who these people are, by the way. A few hundred people, ask them their opinions behind a black box, and then release that data as if it's facts. And what we thought was actually more interesting for most people in marketing and most people in sales is actually content that, instead of being about a survey data on trends, it's what are you buying now? So we went out and found leaders, and what you're going to see from us on a consistent basis is different departments. So if there's a part of a company that you sell into that we're not covering, please let us know. We're actually starting with sales, obviously. And the goal with sales in particular is, what are sales leaders buying? And what I think is so interesting or unique about this is most of the time, whenever you talk to somebody, they're going to tell you like, oh yeah, we're interested in this or we're interested in that. What we tried to do was say, hey, sales leaders at very, very, very top companies, what are you buying? And so we have sales leaders from Canva, which I would argue is fastest growing SaaS company on the planet right now. Sales leaders from Google, which I would argue is probably the most established SaaS company on the planet, and tons of other companies. And we're going to be doing this series on a quarterly basis where we have buyer trends based on department type. And I think, again, that is what is so unique about everything that we're doing, is we're trying to help you all to understand what's actually in the minds of these potential buyers. So I've got a few things that I'll actually talk you through, which I'm actually really excited. We put together a quick deck around. Let me see here. Let me see. Is that a little blurry? There you go. Let me make sure that'll work. All right, here we go. Live on LinkedIn, obviously. All right, so let me try to get into this with you all a little bit and tell you a little bit more about what we are up to. All right, so like I said before, this is an introduction. It literally is on the website. It is live right now. Let me see if I'm chat. Let me see if I can make sure we get you to the right spot. I'm gonna text Becca, make sure we get it on there. Please share in both places. So we'll make sure that we get you straight away to the right places. So if you're like, Jake, what is this buyer trends thing? Who cares, right? What is buyer trends? Shout out to everybody on Zoom. Shout out to everybody on LinkedIn Live. What's going on, everybody? I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm the only person on the planet Earth who's ever chose to go to Phoenix in August. So shout out to Phoenix as a part of this as well, too. All right, so what are buyer trends? All right, so again, I want you to think about industry trends, which are things like, the industry is doing this thing, right? So like, let's say if you sell to operations or you sell to HR, usually what you see from the Gartners of the world, the Forresters, these other G2, it doesn't matter, is you see these trends in the industry, which is like, this industry is focused on XYZ, right? And usually the statistical analysis is based, again, off survey data. right? So it's data that is a bunch of aggregated anonymous individuals sharing what they think is going to happen. What we decided to do was take a completely different, and again, as a sales consulting firm, we have this luxury. We decided to take a different view, which was to say, you know what, let's talk to these people about what they're actually buying right now. That whole discovery process that many salespeople do on a call, we decided to say, you know what if we just ran a discovery process for every single person that sells into sales leaders, which is what we're leading with right now. And so the goal is that you're getting very raw, unfiltered, non-anonymized data around what top sales leaders are into right now. And again, when you think about buyer trends in broad, we've got marketing coming out next. Then we've got, let's see, what's next? What's after marketing? We've got HR after that, and then I think finance. And I think we're going real estate and then sports. So again, what you're going to see from us consistently here is consistently helping all of you to understand what are buyers actually buying right now? What are the trends that those executives are focused on that they're actually buying literally as we speak? So, all right, let's see here. How can you find it? There you go. Becca just dropped it in the chat for everybody. Peter, do me a favor. I've been talking for a second. So if you have extra questions, just maybe elaborate a little bit more. For all my friends on LinkedIn, I'm going to be doing a little bit of a Q&A at the end of this. So if you have very specific questions, just drop those in the comments as well. So this is my point, is what we saw is we saw so many people thinking about the concept of industry trends. And again, it's like, okay, if I'm in sales, logistics companies are growing at 8% additional clip year over year based on COVID or something. And what we did is we looked at that data and we said, well, if I'm in sales or if I'm in marketing, can I do something with that or not? And specifically, can I understand the trends that are happening based off of a broad industry versus what a job within a company is actually doing? And we said no. Again, this whole concept of industry trends, we feel is a very antiquated way to look at things. It's, again, survey, anonymized, and non-specific, typically to a role description that is focused on what the actual needs are of that group versus the broader company. So that's what's up with buyer trends. So where did we start? And again, just so all of you, when you think about this, sales and marketing, I think a lot of people is what we sell into. Again, these aren't sales leaders from companies that are, again, in random industries. These are sales and marketing leaders from some of the fastest growing companies on the planet. So, and again, when you think about why did we interview these people, right? Why go after somebody like Science? If you all don't know Science is the fastest growing, I guess one of the fastest growing people businesses that I know, that's focused on outsourced lead gen. They have went from a few hundred people to almost 1,000 in the last 2 to 3 years. And so we focus on these companies because buyers and sales and marketing in these types of companies are usually, maybe a few years ahead of where everyone else is going to be. So again, for all of you in sales and marketing, selling into sales and marketing, and like I said before, we're going to be releasing, like I said, we have HR up next, then I think it's finance. I'll check with the team. Where you're going to be able to understand what these people are buying right now. You as a sales individual or your marketing team could literally say, hey, I know that the fastest growing companies are literally thinking about this and this. It's not broad, it's literally quotes, right? When you think about this. So, all right. So our goal here, right? So when I talk about sales in particular, what are the buying trends? Not the industry trends. What are people actually buying right now? All right. So I'm going to break down again some of the top trends that we've seen from these buyers. The first is the need for better engagement and value driven. Consistently, what we heard from sales leaders is outreach is not customized enough and too vague. So my friends, again, we have to start to think about the more button, which is we do more activities, versus the quality button. And so I think for a lot of you out there, this might not be like something that's like, completely foreign to you, right? You might be like, oh yeah, Jake, I've known that. But I'm telling you right now, it is never, and this is going to be crazy for a lot of you, I really believe it's never been easier to cut through the noise than it is right now. All you have to do is lower your activity minimums and focus on outcomes. Empower your people. Again, this is what sales leaders are telling us. This isn't my opinion. This is sales leaders, again, at the fastest growing companies in the world have said we have to have better engagement and value-driven sales tactics. Number two, all right, what have you done to train your sales team how to engage people digitally? You have Gong, right? We have Gong. Jake, we have Gong. It helps us understand the conversational intelligence. Well, what Gong doesn't do is show you facial expressions on Zoom. Gong does not help you to understand how engaged, not just how much was the other person talking, how engaged. Top sales leaders right now are thinking about this. How do you make a connection with someone right there on the other side of a camera, right? And there's no conversational intelligence tool right now that's doing it. So my challenge for all of you in sales, what are you doing to be more engaging, right? What are you doing to actually have more people involved? These are the top buyer trends sales leaders are buying. So by the way, my friends, if you sell a tool in this world, this is what's actually top of mind for sales leaders right now. All right. Number three here. Okay. What are you doing to make the process easy? So this one for me is a very simple one. Right now, we have too much friction in the buying process. And more sales leaders are starting to realize this. And they're saying, what can we do to make the process easier? Not easier for us, easier for the customer. And so again, I want a lot of people to think about that. It's not about another methodology. It's not about another process. How do I make life easier for the end consumer? And finally, is this concept of breaking down and creating a centralized process. This is where the term RevOps comes in, right? It's very, I'm just going to tell you this right now. Not a single sales leader we talked to said the word RevOps. And I think a lot of us, this is the hottest buzzword, which is this concept of breaking down silos between marketing, sales, or maybe marketing, SDR, sales, implementation, customer success. In order to really do a great job at number 3 here, you have to do a great job also in thinking about breaking down those silos. And I think too many companies right now think RevOps is some catch-all magic role, and it's not. The reality is more and more sales leaders, again, who are buying things. So again, if you sell a product that can do this, then this is gold for you. They're thinking about, how do I create a frictionless process? When you rewind 10 years ago and you think about 2011, you think about, could you click to buy then? Could you think about all the things you could not do in 2011 that you can do now? All right. B2B is literally 10 to 15 years behind. So you know it's coming. And most, again, forward-thinking sales leaders, this is super, super, super top of mind for them. Lydia, I appreciate that on the RevOps comment. All right. So again, I want all of you to think about this. We will be, so for all my friends on LinkedIn or my friends on Zoom, we'll be sharing this deck with all of you. But like I said, Becca has also shared the link where you can literally get all these trends. You can see videos, again, of sales leaders, marketing leaders talking about these trends. Again, and the difference between industry trend is again, very, very simple. If I go and talk to a bunch of people in manufacturing, I'm going to get trends in manufacturing. If I instead talk to a bunch of sales leaders, I'm going to get trends in what these people are actually buying. And that's what we're doing at Skaled. That literally has never been done before. Nobody has ever said, we're going to focus on buying trends. And that's what, when we think about selling to sales, these 4 trends are trends that sales leaders are saying they are investing money in and trying to solve right now. All right, let's talk about our friends in marketing. Okay, so what is marketing thinking about right now? So again, if you sell into marketing, if you interact with marketing, you have clients that are marketing leaders, this content is for you. All right. So interactive content as a main driver of lead gen. Interesting. What does this mean? What this means is that people are tired of ebooks and white papers. That train has left the station 5 years ago. More and more marketing leaders now are thinking of content as dynamic, always on. So if you sell anything that can help a marketer stay always on, that's for you. All right. Now, this is a really interesting one. I remember some of these conversations around intent data. Many marketers think intent data is bullshit. That's right. You heard me. This holy grail of intent data. The marketing leaders that we talked to consistently said, nah, like we think it's interesting, but it's not there yet. Okay, I'm going to go into that here in a little bit. And I think that that'll be really interesting for a lot of you. All right. And number 2, here, I'll just go ahead. MarTech consolidation, simplifying the tools, and also hybrid events, right? How do we kind of navigate through the rest of this year and into next year, this interaction? So interactive content, okay? Again, I want a lot of you to think about this concept of it's not just about sending someone a piece of content. It's, can you create a kind of destination that people want to come back to consistently because it's being updated quite a bit, okay? Intent data. It's how do you use, again, this is what marketing leaders are buying right now or not buying. Again, we talked to multiple marketing leaders, who on the record, right, who literally in video, and these are companies of 1,000+ people that are saying like, intent data is like okay at best, right? And so if you're, I think right now intent data, and I think about the companies that are 3 or 4 years behind, they're touting intent data as like, oh, this is going to make us so much better and so much more focused. The reality is companies aren't seeing as much ROI from it. So if you are in this world or you sell something around intent data or you complement intent data, just think about that, right? Marketers are feeling burned. Marketers are feeling like, nah, it's not real. And I know every intent data company thinks that their intent data is, fantastic. So just think about how you can position that maybe in a different light. Consolidation, right? More and more what we're seeing, marketers are saying, look, I have too many tools. I have too many tools that aren't being utilized effectively. I need to figure out how to consolidate and get the most out of them. Finally, events. A few marketers that we talked to talked about their excitement for in-person events to come back. That, that had been a very, very, very big lead gen tool for them. Now they got really good at, remote events. And now what they're thinking is, so how can we take the best of remote events? We're capturing all the attendees, we're capturing the email addresses, et cetera. And then how do we apply that same kind of logic with, let's see. All right. Other people feeling the intent data comments, which is good. So hybrid events. So again, how do we think about taking everything we've learned from remote events and applying some of that logic in terms of how we capture user information and people who engage in in-person events with the people that engaged on virtual events. So my friends, that's marketing. So again, think about what you're looking at right now. These aren't trends in an industry. These are trends in what people who actually do the job every day are facing. So we've got a little bit of time here. I promised we would do this, right? We're going to be sending you our first 2 publications. This is really exciting. I was hoping we'd have marketing ready. Marketing is ready. So if you sell into, or your buyer group is sales or marketing leaders, we literally are giving you the cheat code. We are literally handing you on a silver platter what top sales and marketing leaders right now are buying. This isn't anonymized data. This isn't aggregated survey data, which I don't know if any of you have taken a survey and taken it twice and you kind of see what happens there. These are literally buyers who are going on the record saying, this is what's top of mind for me right now. This is what I'm buying. Not my industry's buying, me as a sales and marketing leader. So very, very excited. You can find the interviews there. I think, like I said before, we have the link. You just go to skaled.com/B2B-buyer-trends. You can find it there. All right. And again, you're going to be able to come back to this. So basically, Ricky and the team, we're updating this every 6 months. Every 6 months, you're going to be able to see the evolution of buyer trends. What are people actually buying? And which again, I think is going to be extremely helpful, for a lot of you. So now is the time. We've got a little bit of time here. I'm going to try to pop over to LinkedIn real quick too, where we can maybe take a few questions that folks might have on, again, like I said, trends. What are people buying? Like I said, I'm going to try to do my best to give you all insights there. Actually, it looks like maybe we never made it live on LinkedIn. That's okay too. I will yeah, I don't know if we ever made it live on LinkedIn. So that's all right for all my friends on Zoom. You all were here first. I appreciate you. So thank you for joining us. And that's what's up. So again, if you are somebody who's thinking about how do I more effectively sell to sales and marketing, if you're somebody who's thinking about, how do I create a better connection point with my buyers, that is the plan, right? Our plan is that we're going to be breaking down every single discipline, right? Every single part of an organization. You're going to be able to come to Skaled and you're going to be able to see this stuff in real time. You're going to be able to see a world where, you really understand, not just from what your company tells you or an industry report, what a job title tells you. And I think so many of us that are trying to do more persona-based messaging and really getting inside the heads of those folks are really looking for. So thank you, everyone. I'm really excited to introduce this concept of buyer trends. Again, go check out the chat. You'll be able to see everything there. And like I said, make sure that you bookmark this. This is something that you come back to every week, every month, every quarter, because again, you're going to continue to see more and more amazing content from us and the team. So thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your week. Make sure to go out, do a LinkedIn post on it. Go ahead, do a LinkedIn post, tag me, tag the buyer trends section of the website if you found some value here. So I really appreciate everybody. Lydia, thank you. I really appreciate your comment here. So again, go out, share this content. I think this is going to help a lot of sellers really start to get in the minds of buyers, as opposed to, again, this kind of stale old survey data. So we're really excited. Buyer trends, check it out, share it, and we will see all of you later this week.